Hello guys, my name is Terabyte and this is Academy of the Ancients. Today we're going to be doing a replay review. We got a Shadow Fiend game sent in by GMC here, and he's going to be in for a bit of a rough time. He's going to be playing Shadow Fiend mid. As always, I am going to be doing a bit of a hero introduction. I'll put in an annotation so you can just skip to the actual gameplay if you already know what this hero is all about. And yeah, I don't really need a refresher on his different abilities. So let's just go right ahead. Shadow Fiend, he's usually played as a solo mid. He's a very hard snowballer, meaning that if he gets off to a good start, he can be very problematic to deal with. He does a huge amount of damage. It can be very hard to handle, especially without stuff like BKBs. Yeah, first ability, Shadow Rays. You'll notice that it has 3 icons. This is basically a nuke that is emanated from a certain distance from him. It has a short or small area. It's not targeted, it's just always a certain distance directly ahead of him. So if he was to use the first level of Shadow Rays here, it would be right around here, very close to him. Second around here, and third around here. I might be slightly off this, I haven't played this guy very much. So it's 700 range, it's probably around here for the third, I would think. But yeah, it's basically very good nuke, very good for last hitting. It's very tricky to use in combat, but if you have good micro, you can actually since they don't share cooldowns, you can actually easily cast all 3 of these in combat, and if you hit with all 3 of them, that's a lot of damage. The damage scales very well, so it's something you want to put a lot of points into. Necromastery. Yeah, you gather souls every time you kill something, and then you lose souls every time you die. You lose half of them. So if you kill a regular unit, anything that isn't a hero, you get 2 souls. If you kill a hero, you get 12, and yeah, you can carry a lot of these. So this is your bread and butter. This is what makes him a very hard snowballer. You get 2 damage per soul. Yeah, 2 damage per soul. No, okay, you get 1 soul for killing a creature, of course, and then 2 souls for 12 souls for killing a hero. You get 2 damage per soul. And then only the max souls increase per level. This is what you want to max out first. You usually want to max out this, and then go for Shadow Rays next, and then go for Presence of the Dark Lord last. You do want to take Requiem of Souls as well, really fast. But yeah, this is just, it basically ramps up your damage, and part of what makes him such a hard snowballer is that he is really, really bad if he doesn't get to snowball. So obviously if you die a lot, you lose a lot of souls, and you'll become very inefficient. And very ineffective, because all of your damage comes from this. But this is absolutely correct, skilling this first, since you do want to rank up these souls very fast. Presence of the Dark Lord, this is a straight up armor reducing ability around Nevermore here. So yeah, good stuff. Don't want it until later, don't want it until you really want to get into the fighting. Very important that you use these abilities to farm up first, get the soul count up. Requiem of Souls. Okay, so this is a bit complicated. It's probably the most complicated ability. So, whenever you use this, a number of lines will shoot out from Nevermore and do a debuff and a bunch of damage. So the number of lines is equal to half the for every 2 souls Nevermore has, another line will shoot out. It's also used when he dies, but it doesn't do full damage when he dies. Yeah, the maximum lines is 18. Or actually, it does do a full damage when he dies, but it's usually not enough to kill anyone. So it's just a huge debuff. You can see it does. It means anyone who is hit by it. Any enemy who is hit by it has basically half damage, and that's just the base damage. That's half the one that get from the attributes, not the one from weapons. So you know, that's the number here. The white number here. If it has green number, that won't be reduced, but the white number will be. Yeah. So yeah. So basically you want to be as close to as many players as possible with this. Usually I see it used in conjunction with Shadowblade, which is a really good item on them, because then you can actually walk inside somebody. And additionally, this spell has a casting time, but it does not interrupt Shadowblade Invis. It does interrupt Invis Rune Invis. So basically you can be in Invis from Shadowblade, walk in the middle of a group of enemy heroes and just trigger this, and then you'll go visible only when it has actually triggered. They haven't had time to activate the BKBs or anything, and you're off to a good start to your fight. Yeah, so basically what we're going to be looking for him to do is rank up a lot of souls, get some early kills, and just keep from dying a lot until he can really get that ball rolling. Yeah, we're going to want to see him pick up a Shadow Blade, we're going to want to see him pick up a BKB, and if he can get that far, I don't think he will, I have seen the stats for this, but if he can get that far, I think he's doing pretty well. But yeah, as I said, he's probably not going to be doing all that well at all. What are we locked on here? There we go. So he's just heading down to the lane, looking up here. This is pretty good item-wise. I think maybe Slippers of Agility would be better, but Iron Branches here, not terrible. I don't know what he's going to be facing up against mid. It looks like it's going to be a Bristleback actually, which is sort of weird. Sort of didn't expect that at all. Not usually a hero you see mid. The team composition here is bad, like straight up horrible. I'm actually going to pause a little bit. And I'm going to postulate or do a little bit of a prediction here. They have no supports, no one who can even remotely act as a support. Maybe Axe can. But it looks like Axe is what? 2 stout shields. Okay, so I don't know if this stacks, and even if it does, this is probably crap. Like, this is probably pretty bad. He's already been up tangling with the bear here, it looks like. Yeah, so okay, this is really weird, but yeah, they don't have any supports, so it means you're not going to get any wards, which means it's going to be harder to pick up runes, which means it's just going to be very hard. But this is just a crap team competition. This looks slightly better, like they have supports at least. So yeah. This is our starting bell, of course. He's standing where mids usually stand, which is either you go out to the rune here and look for that, or you stand here and try to do a block, which is to say you try to prevent the creeps from moving forward, which pulls the creep wave shorter or further along towards your side of the river here, and the further they are closer to your side of the river, the better. Looks like he's gonna be midding against the Terrorblade actually, so not a Bristleback. That would have been very weird as well, but yeah. So this matchup, I don't really know, like usually Terrorblade is a safe lane farmer, but here I guess he could do pretty well. The thing with Terrorblade is, we just click really fast, he has this ability Metamorphosis, which when he activates that he has tons of damage, but when he's out of that he's not very scary, not super scary at all. And he makes a lot of clones of himself, so that's pretty good. We've got no last hit so far, so not a good start. Missed another last hit. So that's the thing right now. If he'd taken something with a bit more damage, like just a Slipper of Agility, I think he would be better off here, but he doesn't have a whole lot of damage on his own. Like, he only has 41. If we look at Terrorblade right now, he has almost double that. So that's the problem right now. He's getting no last hits, he's not getting his Necromastery up, and that's, yeah, Terrorblade is just crushing him right now. He's not getting his last hits up at all. So if they'd had some supports, a support could have come in here, bailed him out. But because they don't, like, he's just not getting anything. Like, denies also count for these, and he's got nothing. Like, literally nothing, so he's only got his level 2, that's it. And he should probably look to get the first few last hits with these raises. If he can... No, he actually missed that. Oh, this is going, like, seriously couldn't be going worse for him right now. Aside from, you know, a super early gank. Shouldn't be looking to harass super much. It's Nevermore, I think. He's missing every one of his last hits, which is really, really unfortunate. I forgot to mention this is a 2800 MMR game, so that's about average. It's about where I am at, actually. So, you know, I'm a bit surprised to see these team compositions. And this isn't bad, but this is pretty horrible. Like, there isn't even a proper carry over here. So yeah, still looking for that first last hit. We're looking, okay, there we go, one last hit, and that already gives him like 2% of his damage with one last hit. So yeah, this is going crap, like, completely bad. This is already like pretty bad. Like, if we take a look at the last hits, 13-12. Yeah, so this this Terrorblade is just crushing. That's all that's happening here. And I think probably this is just a really bad lane for this Shadow Fiend, and he should have been much better or much more aware of needing to get those last hits. Probably the way to save this would have been to have a support come in here and just babysit for a little while. Or just help out, you know. Just until you get the damage up and running. Like, we look at Terrorblade now, he's got 64, 63 DPS, but he is, you know, he is melee, so he should have a higher. But if he actually had some souls, he would be much better off here, but he doesn't. So it's just the fact that he didn't get those first souls that's just making it so hard for him to last hit now, and making it nearly completely impossible for him to do anything here. So the Terrorblade is just doing a stellar job of pushing him out of lane here. Of course, they don't have any wards either, because they don't have any supports, so no one feels like they should be buying them, even though the boards should absolutely be going up. Yeah, and this, you know, at this point, the game, like, this is already stupidly far behind for this Shadow Fiend. Like, he needs to snowball, and he's basically only gotten passive XP and 4 last hits for the first 4 minutes of the game, which is horrific. Like, this is super bad. This is like, yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, there's honestly not a lot to say about this, other than that he's just being crushed in lane. Like, the enemy Rubik has more last hits than this Nevermore, which is not how it should be at all. So yeah, got his 5th there. Like, even he's getting like 20% of his damage, or 15-20% of his damage from this from the Necromastery already, with just these 5 last hits. So you can see how important they are. I keep harping on about this. It's honestly not a lot more to talk about, and it is a pretty precarious situation, so I don't feel like we should. Yeah, there we go. Metamorphosis, all his abilities up, and this, yeah, this guy is just so far ahead now. Yeah, he's already got his power threads up. Metamorphosis is hugely scary. This should have been. This is just a kind of unfortunate matchup, I have to say, and because he just didn't get super far ahead, now he's lost half his souls.
Middle tower is under attack.
And you know,
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they didn't even have a courier. This is just horrific. Like, this is the worst scenario. So this is you know, just a good showcase of why you need supports, really. From my point of view, this is just what what this lane needs is supports. Like, the mid is actually, despite supports not usually being there, the fact that the mid needs to come in with wards and needs to. What is the Slardar doing? He's just gonna let the Nevermore get pushed completely back. So that Slardar wasn't awake. And yeah, this is just, at this point, I would almost say it's lost. I don't think we'll be doing this entire replay, because I will honestly just be saying for a long time now that this has been lost for a long while for this Nevermore, that there's so little he can do to get back now. Actually missed that last hit. So he's just, it's honestly just pretty hopeless here. I think this is gonna turn into a pretty short video. But that was a good race. Should try to time your race, especially if you need to last hit up these things. Going for races is a good idea, because they can't miss. And trying to hit the Terrorblade alongside with them. There was a good opportunity for it, with just a medium race. Been good, but yeah, this is... they're pretty much just snowballing heroes over here. Like, all of these heroes can snowball to some extent. I mean, Tusk and Nevermore are notorious for snowballing. Slardar, I would say, he isn't the hard carry, so he's more of a snowball as well. And Puck is the same way. Like, none of these guys can carry the late game. They really need all of them to get the ball rolling here. And having 4 of these and then one kind of semi-support who isn't playing support is just really bad. Like, this is super badness. He is starting finally to get some last hits, so this is pretty good, but it's just too little too late. Like, he just got his boots up. If we take a look at the net worth, he's gonna be way down there. Yeah, he's only the enemy supports who are actually playing support are worse than him. So let's just do a quick... Oh, he's just gonna go behind him here. Can he actually... That's pretty scary that he can actually fight him even though that's... maybe it would have been better to just turn and fight there.
Radiant's middle
Might
tower
die.
is under attack.
Nope, okay. So he should have probably turned and fought there just because you can't run away from the Terrorblade. This Metamorphosis just makes him so scary. The thing you need to be aware of with Metamorphosis is that he has a huge cooldown. Basically think of this as his ultimate. This Sunder is actually a lot less impactful than this Metamorphosis, which is just huge. And this guy is just getting huge. He's got 2 solo kills, he's got 41 last hits. He's doing
Radiant's top tower
super
is under
well.
attack.
Probably Terrorblade isn't quite balanced right now, but that's just an excuse, of course. But yeah, things are just going hyper badly for this Nevermore at the moment.
Killing spree.
And that's honestly because there's no one at all to create any room for him. He's just having to contend with this bad lane in mid by himself. If we had, you know, let's pretend that let's pretend for a moment the Rubik is on the other team. Rubik switched place with the Tusk, and he is on this team. He's been up in this lane. He's helping out up here, and then he could just, like, when it seems like the mid is having problems, if this lane is going well up here, if they're running a tri-lane, which I would highly recommend, and have a good solo off-laner, then they can just put the Rubik down here. If he tries to go on the Nevermore, if the Terrorblade tries to go on the Nevermore, just lifts up the Terrorblade and puts him back. Nevermore's safe. They can even try to go for a kill on the Terrorblade, and suddenly if he gets the 12 souls from the kill, he gets some free farm here mid, suddenly this could be turned around. But it didn't have anything like that. It didn't even have wards mid. The other team doesn't have wards either, which I'm actually pretty surprised at, given that this is like 2800 MMR. Yeah, this is just really weird. The items are also pretty horrible on these guys. Like, the Terrorblade looks like he's playing competently, and the items aren't been horrible on the Nevermore, but the rest of these guys just... Okay, this is... It's okay, I guess. This is just some really bad play by the majority of these guys. And just the team composition really screwing over the Nevermore here. He's kind of a very precarious hero to play, in the sense that he just so desperately needs the farm. Yeah, I can't... But at this point, I honestly think we're gonna just...
Dire's
You
middle
know,
tower is under attack.
this is what it looks like to be a hard snowballer who gets nothing. Like, he's gotten
Dire's
as good
top
as
tower
nothing in
is
this
under
game.
attack.
He's honestly fed a little bit, in the sense that he has had some deaths that could probably have been avoided, but you know, if you're not familiar with Terrorblade, and you know, you do need to try and get back into it, he kinda had to go down here. And the fact that he got no support at all would just kinda made it too hard for him. So even though you could call it a feat, in the sense that he shouldn't have died, of course, and he wasn't really doing anything productive. There wasn't really anything else for him to do
Radiant's
because of
middle
this team
tower is
composition,
under attack.
and because he's lost the lane so badly. Probably, I think, the biggest personal errors from him was not getting last hits right in the beginning. I think actually, I think the most productive thing I could probably do here is just going back to the start of the game, because this guy is all about snowballing. We need to see how things start out for him in this lane, and we're gonna slow things right down and just take a look at those first last hits, which are ever so important. So I think this is right around the start of it. Here we go. Yeah. So that's actually right at the start of the
The
game.
battle begins.
Oh, we've got that animation bug again. So I'll just skip a little
The
bit. There we
battle
go.
begins.
Go.
Double damage.
Hate it when it does that. Okay. So we come here. We see the Terrorblade gets the player block. This was what I was talking about. If you block well, if you get the better block, the creep wave will kind of push towards your ledge, and because it's towards your ledge, you're harder to harass. It's easier for you to get last hits. So that's very good from the Terrorblade already. He's getting a small upper hand here. Okay, he missed that, but so that was a little bit bad. Or maybe he actually got a
Radiant's bottom
harassed a
tower
little
is
bit.
under
Shouldn't
attack.
focus on harassing for the first few.
Radiant
Like, you don't have any
structures
damage,
are
you really need
fortified.
those last hits. Again, we see that the slippers of agility could really help out here. He's not quite got the damage he wants for these last hits. He's kind of being forced out of the lane by the Terrorblade.
Small thieves hang.
The Terrorblade's just doing a really good
Radiant's
job.
bottom tower is under attack.
And yeah, he's just got nothing so far. And he's got a few opportunities he missed. Like, I think there, if he timed it a little bit better, he could have maybe gotten it. But the metamorphosis from the Terrorblade is used absolutely correct here, just completely denying everything. Here, these, he should definitely go for these. There's no way a level 1 Terrorblade here can go in and contest, I think, even with the damage from that. So yeah, I think this is definitely a bad matchup just because Nevermore has to get these first last hits, and the Terabyte, because of his metamorphosis, can just deny him so easily. And he's just doing so much better job here, so this is just him being very outplayed and him really, really needing, like, the only way to save this situation would have been to cycle a support mid. That's honestly just what I think. There's not much to do here. And yeah, this game is just gonna spiral so hard out of control from this point already for this Nevermore, just because he's got no damage. Like, he's just got 46 damage. This is just abhorrent. He is gonna be going on. Or just kind of harassed a little bit of mana. Late on the raise there. But yeah, this is already looking. This might seem harsh, like we're only 2 minutes into the game, but this is already looking really, really, really bad for a Nevermore. Like, he should be having, in a good game, I think maybe 10 last hits and then denies now. Like, he could have, or actually more. You could actually get more than that, just because, you know. Yeah. So there was, maybe if you played stellarly or really, really well, you could do better. But honestly, I think this Terrorblade is playing this near perfect, or not near perfect, but at a very high level. Certainly more than I would expect from anyone at 2800 MMR. So this is what it looks like when you win your mid lane against the Shadow Fiend. Like, he's just gonna be able to do nothing, and no one's creating space for him. So it's kind of, yeah, I'm just going over the same things again and again here. We're not going to be able to see him do anything with his other abilities. We're not going to be seeing any good Requiem of Souls, because he's just not going to be able to get any momentum. He's not going to be able to get any souls. Not going to be able to get a Shadow Blade because he's getting no farm. So I think, guys, it's sad, but this is going to be it. Thanks for watching. If you want to have your replay reviewed, feel free to send it in at AcademyOfTheAncients@gmail.com. And yeah, help mostly if you could send in losses or
Radiant's
close
middle
games
tower
at least.
is under attack.
That's easier for us to give some feedback on. Of course, in this case, there isn't a lot to say, even though I think it's very important lessons. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. My name's been Cerebellum, and I'm out.